Hey guys, welcome back for another video. Today I've got a full review of the new X6 CarPlay and dashcam system from CPMC. We're going to unbox it real quick, go through all of its features, install it on the bike, take it for a ride. I'll show you all the dashcam footage and what I think about the operation. Inside the box, we have the main unit, and it uses, looks like about 18 inches of connection cable. Off the back of it, we have power, 2 dash cams, and what I'm assuming is going to be maybe a GPS. Take the film off. Pretty big bezels on here, very typical for the industry, about a ½ an inch all the way around. Just a sticker that you can remove on the left-hand side. We've got an access door here for presumably the SD card on the bottom. Nothing on the right. 2 screw holes on the top, maybe for a sun guard, and a hard power button. On the back, a proprietary mount for the actual mount to the bike, and we've got a little speaker there. We've got our power cord. We do have an inline fuse, optional USB power as well. And the specs say these are 2K dash cams, so not quite 4K, but better than 1080p. Take the film off the first one here. They are metal and standard bullet types here. This is the kind of construction I like to see. And an extension cord for the rear camera, and an equal extension cord for the front. We do have an included 64 gig card. Got our basic user guide, should be pretty straightforward. The connection diagram is always a good idea to look at just to verify you've got the power connections right. Every now and then you get some weird products out there that have black and red switched, so don't make that mistake. And it looks like this might have a little remote control. Whether or not you need to use it, that's up to you, but this looks like a little Velcro for a wrist strap. And here's the part I was curious about. It is, as I suspected, a GPS, and they've also bundled that, fortunately or unfortunately, into a remote control. So I say that because GPS, always good to have, so you need to put this in a spot that's accessible to the sky. But on the downside, if you actually want to use it as a remote control, it kind of limits where you're going to put it given that it's wired, and it doesn't look like a super long one either. But having it is better than not having it. And if you have no use for these kinds of remote control buttons, which I have to say I don't, then you don't worry about it. And you just put this and just use it as a GPS wherever you want. Got some adhesive, and the mounting rings for the cameras is what I'm going to use. And we also have tire pressure monitors. As usual, I'll be opening these up and measuring the voltage just to see what state the batteries are in. They are going to be depleted because unfortunately, like, well, 99% of them out there, they're installed from the factory of manufacturer, not these guys, but whoever makes this right here. They stick them in and they start depleting the second they make contact. So however long they've been on a shelf or in a factory or in shipping or whatever, they've been depleting. And by the time they get to you, they're usually just about dead. So plan on going to the grocery store or ordering from Amazon and getting yourself some fresh batteries. But we'll take a look and measure just to make sure. And then we have our mounts. Looks like we've got some bar clamps and the unit with shock absorbing O-rings here to go on the back of the unit. And it looks like we do have a ball joint. We'll see if it's a standard 1-inch ram and how we can easily mount that. We do have a pinch connector. We'll see if it's plastic to plastic or if there's some rubber in there, how well that holds. Some are better than others. And then last but not least, we do have a optional sun shield. All right, let's get it in the garage, get it on the bike. They give you a ball mount adapter here for bars if you want to just clamp it around. Or if you've got your own like me, you can just use that. Then for the back, we've got the actual mount plate here with the built-in shocks. Use the 4 little screws for that. And then this is the ball adapter that just fits on here. And we'll screw that together. They did a great job with the ball mounts and connector. Rock solid. I did have to loosen the bolt quite a bit in order to extend it out to get over the balls. Now I have to tighten that, so don't forget to check that. But tightening that down, it is rock solid. No slippage. And here's the sun shield on, completely optional again. Just 2 little set screws to put it on. It is plastic, very lightweight. Note that the power button is very recessed with it on. You're not going to be able to hit that with a glove, at least not easily whatsoever. Not a big deal, but if it ends up being something you need to do a lot, something to think about. I've never had a need for these, so I'm not going to use it. Unfortunately, they did not design it to be able to run the set screws in if you don't want to see these threads or have it be an open hole. So can't just put the screws in there or they do stick up. The tire sensors are standard 1632 coin cells, and these are just kissing 3 volts. So you'll get a few months out of them, but definitely plan on replacing them. As far as the units themselves, they are the newer standard style, not the super small ones, but they are on the lighter side. I would be on the fence on whether or not you need metal valve stems or not. Definitely do it to be safe, but it is a question. And they do give you the wrench for opening them up, and the optional security nuts, just so people can't easily spin them off by hand. When you install them on the bike, F is for front, R is for rear. A and B, front and rear. And just a quick comparison so you can see what really small ones look like, about half the size and mass. The instructions are bare bones. It's everything I just showed you, but they do have the QR code for the app, which is the important part. All right, let's do the first boot up, and I'm going to make sure the firmware is fully updated. We'll run through all the features. Nice glossy screen as you can. Oh, whoa. Okay, that is cool, and I had no idea they did that for me. That's pretty cool. So obviously you can do a custom splash screen. Yeah, that is just really cool. All right, so let's boot up here. Goes right into the dash cams. We got a little chime. We got a brightness indicator here. It says 2K up in the side there. Whole bunch of controls. All right, so what I'm going to do, little splash screen there. What I'm going to do right now is connect it via Bluetooth, connect it to the app, and see if we have any firmware updates. And then I'll start running through everything. All right, so there's no options in the app. That's just for downloading your videos if you don't want to pop the card out. So let's jump right into here. First of all, this is not a power button, even though the symbol is a power button. It's a screen lock. So it can either be a touch screen or not. Can't say I've had the need to do that, but maybe there's a situation where you just don't want to accidentally hit anything. Maybe you just want your map up there and that's it. You don't want anything to change. So you can do that. So that's pretty cool, I guess. Screen is extremely vivid. It looks like an OLED. I'm sure it's not, but it looks like OLED quality. Extremely high resolution, good size. It's widescreen, obviously. Looks like a very high quality OEM that you would find in any current luxury car. Obviously, this is the CarPlay screen, and it does automatically launch CarPlay if your phone is in range and it's been previously connected. Obviously, mine was. We've got this custom icon here called Home. That will bring us back to the dashboard of the unit itself. So this is all stock at the moment. Haven't changed a thing. We've got their logo. We've got a speedometer. I'm assuming a compass. We've got the front and rear, although they're labeled F and B still here for the tire pressure monitors. A warning here that one of them at least is reading low. It automatically records, as all dash cams do, as long as it's got power. It's got a Bluetooth connection to the phone itself. It's got at least one satellite connection here for the GPS. Wi-Fi is in range. Got a clock. Don't know if that's right or not yet. And it looks like, is that an indicator for the screen lock? Yes. Down at the bottom, we've got our camera screens. Should be able to full or split screen. Looks like I got to flip my rear around here. Hang on. So I did see an up indicator. There it is. That should be good. Bike's on the side stand, so yes, it is slightly tilted. And front, I've got pretty close as well. Stand the bike up. Almost right by eyeballing it. I'll fix that when I go around the front of the bike. Yep, there we go. There's full rear, full front, and back to split screen. Record audio or not. This takes us to switching through with the button. Start and stop recording. Take a snapshot, which you can also do from the remote control. This is lock a clip. If you see something that you want to not be overwritten automatically, just tap that and it'll save it. What's that phone symbol do? Oh, okay, so that takes you back into CarPlay directly from the dash cam screen. Let's go back to the dashboard. Got a speaker, so we've got the beep that you can hear, obviously. If you don't want that, turn that down. Brightness control, I'm going to assume it's on full. Yeah, just about. Don't know if it has automatic yet. We'll see if there's anything in the settings, but bright looks perfect here for daytime at least. So at least there is a good control. Even if it's manual for night, it's there. This should be CarPlay as well. There we go. It beeped, I hit it, but it didn't go the first time. This button I actually don't recognize. Disconnect the mobile phone first. I have no idea what that one is doing. This should be settings. All right, into settings. Do we have more screens? Yes, we do. I so wish they would put scroll bars when there's another screen. Because, I mean, look at this. It looks like it's perfectly set up for these 10 icons, and you would never think that, oh, by the way, there's more. Yeah, there's 7 more. BSD switch. Actually, not sure what that stands for yet. Oh, blind spot detection. I did not know this had that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let's turn that on. I actually find that pretty useful. Now I hit yes and it went back to the home screen. I would like that to stay until you hit back, but okay. Resolution? Shouldn't be any option to change that. Oh, cameras. I was thinking the display. Phone sound. Now maybe they're talking about the beep with the buttons. Not sure. Let's see. Switching audio output device. No, it wasn't that. I'm not sure what that means either. Maybe it tries to pipe sound back to the phone. Not a clue. CarPlay position. This might be just customizing the look. Full screen left to right, so it might have a split screen. About to disconnect the connection. Might have to restart this video clip. Let's see. Let's go back into CarPlay and see what it looks like now. Okay, that looks the same to me. Might not be supported. Let's try going into a map real quick. We'll check out navigation speed while we're here. That's not bad. Seen way worse. That's usable. No problem there. All right, back into settings. Language should be set to English. Yep. Loop recording. This is the length of the clips that you want to record. I suggest the larger ones. If you want the smaller ones, it's good for an emergency. If you have to download over Wi-Fi, you can get the clips much faster. But if you're just using it normally and you want to put the card in a computer and dump them, it's much easier to have the larger files and a lot less of them. Back camera mirror is for if you want to flip the image of the rear camera. Screen saver might be like a screen off. And since this is obviously a control unit, I am not turning on screensaver. Another one of those options they probably don't need on here. GPS info, let's see if we're hitting any satellites. I'm in my garage, so probably not. Time setting. If you're using CarPlay, this will automatically sync, so you don't need to do anything with it. Let's go into these other options. Date format, whatever your preference is. Speed unit, I want miles per hour. Yep, scroll back because it goes back to the home screen and resets position out of those screens. Speed compensation, that's pretty cool. So I wonder what it's compensating for or against. GPS, obviously, for one of them. I don't know why you would want to change whatever this is displaying if it is against GPS, though. Here's where you can format the card. Car on-screen display. Not a clue what that is for. Factory reset, and we can view the version. All right. Now, I didn't see anything about the TPMS or pairing. Aha. So if we click that right there, we can see that we can go into PSI instead of bar. And I mean, that time it took. Here we can set the high and low tire pressure alarms and temperature. And can we scroll? No. Okay, so that's all the options there. Low, 29, fine, high. I need to go way higher than that. Oh, I like that you can do that. That's a lot faster to me than doing scroll arrows or anything. Set my high to 50. That's more than enough. All right. Binding, they mean pairing. Obviously, there's some translation errors here and there, as almost all of them have. And once we get rolling, we will see the pressure sensors update. All right, let's get on the road.
Yeah, the compass is working, but not when standing still. So that's fine. So there's our speedo, there's our compass, and we'll just pretend we've got tire pressure monitoring on. Speedo's pretty quick, easy enough to read, nice big chunky numbers there. Although I wish the compass gave you something other than a degree. It makes hardly any sense to people to glance down and see 357. Give me a north, give me a north-northwest, whatever. Or at least a rotating icon, something. Numbers are pretty useless. Brightness is absolutely perfect. It is completely clear here in direct Florida sunlight. Doesn't get any worse conditions than this. No complaints whatsoever. I'm going to run this out here for a good while because I need it to heat up. Haven't seen it in a while, but some older units at least would heat up and then we'd see a big dimming on the screen in direct sun. Now, for those of you that don't live in bright, sunny, hot areas, not so much an issue, but for those of us that do, that's a huge issue. So I'll just double check and make sure we don't have that problem with this unit. Screen sensitivity, even with gloves, is excellent. No complaints whatsoever there. Speedo accuracy is spot on. I mean, it's under 1 mile an hour variance. So of course the daytime dash cam footage is apt to be perfect. Here's the front. Here's the rear. Check for detail in the foliage and how the dynamic range looks. All right, off for the night test. So for the brightness, I actually have it about a third of the way up. completely matches my dash. Plenty of room, plus or minus, to go whatever you want. So absolutely perfect job with the quality of the display. Check out the low light performance here on the front camera, which is almost always going to be great on a dash cam. It's the rear that you really want to take a look at, because usually on dash cams, it's not only the camera quality, but the processing assignment of bandwidth. And they'll usually sacrifice rear a little bit. Also want to see how details look in headlights. I'm going to go out to a well-lit parking lot here that I use for my little test route on dash cams. I also do car dash cams, by the way, over on my channel called Guy Stuff. You can check that out if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And about 1 car length behind here. So this is a best case scenario for nighttime dash cam footage. Everything should look absolutely pristine rolling through here. So I haven't checked out the footage yet. I'm going to go back and pop it all in right now. Check it out in editing. And if it is good, and if it is, you're going to see this next part. I'm calling this the absolute new value leader for these kinds of units.